So this is a Dodge Raider 1987 2.6 liter engine with 109 horsepower out of the factory and 142 torque. Its base weight is 3,197 pounds, which from the factory estimated about 18 miles per gallon, but I would estimate I'm getting about 15 to 20 mpg, so not too bad. The mileage when we got the main body was at 199k roughly, and due to the circumstances of the engine being a used engine out of a junkyard car, I don't know the exact mileage on the engine. The main body is in pretty good shape, little to no surface rust, certainly a few spots we need to paint, but nothing more than that. Originally it was a tow-behind rig for a few years, and at some point it was lent to the original buyer's friend, who accidentally overheated the engine, causing filled pistons and rings, and it did not have great compression in the cylinders 1 through 3, and no compression at all in cylinder 4. Amazingly, that for some reason it actually did drive when we first got it. We did a in-frame engine rebuild. We didn't have the equipment to pull the engine completely out as we would have originally wanted to, but just due to space and tools, we did not have the ability. The 4-cylinder engine isn't the most powerful, but for what we need to do, it does just fine. We tend to keep the rig as much original Dodge Raider as we can, because, quite frankly, it does what we need to. We replaced or rebuilt the oil pump, a brand new one, as we were doing the rebuild, pistons and rings, the starters, which is quite a pain to get to, using a lot of extensions, but we finally got it out and replaced. The head was rebuilt by a shop in the Dalles, Oregon, at the Napa shop. Of course, general things, we did the engine oil, the transmission oil, the differentials, replaced the engine coolant. The fuel pump is a little bit of a story here. We actually had to relocate it because the previous owner had the fuel pump located in the engine bay, which, as far as I know and experience, is very noisy and not ideal, as these little electric fuel pumps push fuel instead of pull better. I did relocate the fuel pump, as you could see, close to the tank as I could, and so far, no issue. The mechanical fuel pump is clearly bypassed, is no longer present at all. There's just a little plate that covers the old mechanical fuel pump location, and it's a pretty easy modification to do. We have a Weber 3236 DEGV installed on here with an R22 adapter so that I can mount the stock air housing on here. So during warm summer months, we're pulling in cold air from the outside versus the hot air under the engine bay, which it would by default with that Weber, simply because it just pulls in air from the engine bay normally. That's purchased from LCE Performance, a very helpful site. Not too bad. I think it cost me about $50 when we did it. A few other minor things we did, but very good in the overall scheme. We got some new to S tires on here. We got some 30-inch, I believe, snow rated tires. They were studded, but so we could stay legal, we took the studs out during non-snowy months, but I don't intend to go too crazy in the snow necessarily. Got new shocks. Took it from a very shaky ride to a very stable ride now. I could corner without feeling like I'm going to tip over. We of course homed the cylinder walls, got that all good. We swapped the bumper from the one that was mounted because the previous owner had severely damaged it. With this nice chrome one we actually found at a local junkyard here in Medford. Other than the head unit, we did all the work ourselves, being my wife, my father-in-law, and it's running pretty well right now, actually. Of course, I'm working on a few small things. Minor oil leak, very small. Then there's always going to be projects. There's quite a few in my head to list, but those will be other episodes here. So this was episode 1 of Exploring with Edna, Raider on a Budget. I will talk about in the next episode the electrical work I've done for the top lighting and all the other fun gizmos there. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.